Hi, my name is Nick Russo, Senior Service Provider Solution Architect with Trend Micro, working closely with our MSP partners in their journey in Vision 1. In this video, we'll review the onboarding process for new end customers, stepping through building the Vision 1 tenant, adding an endpoint security solution to the customer's tenant, creating a policy that can be easily duplicated for other customers, and enabling cyber risk exposure management. The first step in onboarding a new customer on our Vision 1 for Service Providers platform is to create a Vision 1 tenant for your end customer. From the Customer Overview page, start by clicking the Add Customer button, then select Create New Customer. In the pop-up window, fill out the required fields, then click the Create button. A new window will pop up with a link to provision Vision 1. Click that link, and in the next window, you'll define whether this is a full paid license or a trial license. By selecting Trial, there will be a 30-day window to assess and test functionality for that customer in Vision 1. With a full paid license, the usage of solutions in Vision 1 will be tracked based on what's deployed, and the credit usage will roll up to your Vision 1 for Service Provider console. More details regarding the monthly credit model can be provided by your account manager. Now that we have an end customer's Vision 1 tenant created, we'll create a product instance for Standard Endpoint Protection. We'll navigate to Service Management, Product Instance, and on this page, click the Create Product Instance button. In the flyout window to the right, select Standard Endpoint Protection from the Instance Type dropdown. Provide a display name for the product instance, which will be referenced in other parts of the console, such as the endpoint inventory page. Specify United States in the region dropdown, then click Save. The product instance will now be shown in the list with the display name chosen and the status of provisioning. After a short period of time, the status will update to Connected. Once it does, we're ready to begin configuring a Standard Endpoint Protection policy, which will define which features of the security agent are enabled, such as anti-malware, web reputation, vulnerability protection, etc., and how they should function. To proceed with creating a Standard Endpoint Protection policy, navigate to Endpoint Security and then Standard Endpoint Protection in the left-hand menu of Vision 1. At the top of the page, hover over Policies, then select Policy Management. On the policy page, we'll want to select the appropriate product in the product dropdown for the platform which we'll be protecting. For Mac, select the Apex One Mac product. And for Windows, select the Apex One Security Agent. Next, click the Create button. We'll start by giving the policy a name, then select the Targets option to identify which computers this policy will apply to. There are multiple options here, and some can be reliant upon integrations with systems like Active Directory. For this exercise though, we'll select the Filter by Criteria option, then click Set Filter. In the window that pops up, click the checkbox next to Operating Systems, then select Windows 10 and Windows 11 from the drop-down menu to add them. If deploying to Mac systems, the same process can be followed by selecting the Apex One Mac product on the Policy Management page. Along the left-hand side of the policy here are the protection modules that make up the Standard Endpoint Protection agent's functionality. These settings can vary from customer to customer, but I'll cover a few specific settings that should be in place or that may benefit from customization. Starting with Scheduled Scan, it would be recommended to adjust the schedule to match a day and time when users are typically idle or on a slower business day, something like Friday at 2 p.m. Moving down the list, ensure that behavior monitoring is enabled, as that is the best line of defense when protecting against ransomware infections. It would be advised to also enable predictive machine learning, as it can help with detecting emerging threats and unknown security risks in suspicious processes or files. Another module to enable here would be vulnerability protection, as it can help with protecting an unpatched system from vulnerabilities where Trend Micro may have a batching protection rule. After completing the customization of this policy, click the Deploy button in the bottom left corner. We're now ready to create an endpoint policy for enabling the XDR sensor. In the left-hand navigation menu, go to Endpoint Security, then Endpoint Security Policies. Although this may be a bit confusing, this area is meant to control only those settings specific to XDR, whereas the previous steps are meant for configuring the security agent that protects the system. If all systems are going to have the XDR sensor enabled after deployment of the software, then open the Endpoint Sensor General policy and turn on the Endpoint Sensor Detection and Response option. This will show an option for monitoring, which can remain at 2 moderate. Next is the option for the Deepfake Detector, which can analyze a video call to identify if the person on the other end is who they say they are, then alert the user to the synthesized images. The browser extension setting is optional and can provide additional functionality for blocking URLs and domains that are added to the suspicious object list. If the systems that are protected by the Standard Endpoint Protection agent and XDR sensor are also to be discovered by the Cyber Risk Exposure Management solution, then enable the Advanced Risk Telemetry feature. This option analyzes endpoints for potential security posture weaknesses and performs vulnerability assessments for zero-day threats. We've now completed policy configuration to the point where our agent installer package can be collected for deployment. Under the Endpoint Security Endpoint Inventory page, click the Agent Installer button in the top right corner. In the flyout window on the right, under Standard Endpoint Protection, select the appropriate operating system and endpoint group manager, Mac or Windows. Both are created by default. Next, click the Download button to collect the zip package with all files necessary to install the Standard Endpoint Protection agent and XDR sensor on a system. You can do so by running the endpointbasecamp.exe file in the package. For additional help with customized deployment, feel free to reach out to our team and we can assist further. We've now successfully built an end customer's Vision 1 tenant, created a Standard Endpoint Protection instance with the associated policies, collected the software installation package to protect endpoints, and there are plenty of other solutions and features available in Vision 1, and if you're interested in learning more or if it would be helpful to have assistance from our team to deploy other features, feel free to reach out to your account manager to schedule some time. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video, and we look forward to continuing your journey in Vision 1.